I'm Shawn Quintero, and this is Proud to Lead. The Supreme Court just gutted a core provision of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Here's what that means, because this ruling is dense and the implications are bigger than most people realize. For 60 years, Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act has been one of the most powerful tools minority voters had to fight back against rigged maps. And here's how it worked. You didn't have to prove that lawmakers intended to discriminate you. You just had to prove the map did discriminate against you. That's called the results test. It meant that even if a state legislator never said the quiet part out loud, if the outcome of their map diluted Black voting power, you could challenge it in court and win. The Supreme Court just threw that out. In a 6-3 decision written by Justice Samuel Alito, the court ruled that Louisiana's congressional map, which included 2 majority Black districts, was itself an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. And in doing so, they applied what's now called the intent test, meaning going forward, if you want to challenge a discriminatory map, you have to prove lawmakers meant to discriminate. You have to get inside their heads. You have to find the smoking gun. Justice Alina Kagan, in her dissent, called it exactly what it is. She said the majority had rendered the Voting Rights Act, quote, all but a dead letter. Think about what that means in practice. A state legislator can now draw a map that wipes out Black political representation entirely. And as long as they don't write down why they did that, as long as they keep their reasoning off the record, they're almost untouchable. This is what the court handed down yesterday, and within hours, the governor of Louisiana was on the phone telling congressional candidates he was suspending their primary. Now, this is a primary election that has already started. Absentee ballots are out. People have already voted. This is happening right now, and it's going to reshape congressional power across this country before November. With us now is Matt Gromlich, congressional candidate in Louisiana and friend of the show. Matt, thank you for being on the show. Matt, help us understand what is going on in Louisiana right now.
Chaos, I think, is the thing that is happening right now. As you mentioned, the Supreme Court decision came down yesterday, which we anticipated that decision, the outcome of that decision. We I think both sides of the aisle, all politicians in Louisiana, did not really anticipate the date of this court decision. So back in, I think, December, our primaries were originally scheduled for April, and they pushed it back a month to allow for the Supreme Court decision to come out in March, early April. It didn't happen. Everybody said, okay, it's going to come out in June, probably June, July. They'll wait, there's no urgency rush anymore. And so we kind of put that on the back burner as candidates, as, politicians, and randomly drops yesterday. So not only does that impact the 6th district, and then, it would have ripple impact and effect on the rest of the districts. But then Landry said that he is wanting to or looking into canceling or postponing our primaries, which, as you mentioned, mail-in ballots, absentee ballots already have been sent out, and early voting starts literally in 2 days. So I think right now what we're all trying to rationalize or wrap our heads around, one, like, what is the legal rationale that he's using? And he doesn't really even know. I think he's representative of a lot of people in the current administration, where they just say something and then they have to have lawyers find a way to make that fact. And what we're hearing right now is that potentially it could be like a state of emergency as a rationale, which I think is fairly flimsy. I don't know what other rationale they would use for this primary. I can absolutely see them using the court's decision to impact the general election in November, but a primary is already underway. You're literally disenfranchising voters in front of our faces. Landry made the statement last night, and media picked it up. And the first round of the media reporting and headline was, Landry is wanting to, or is considering, or is trying to cancel or postpone these elections. And then now, within the last hour, based on that reporting and his statement with no new information, now the headlines are saying it is canceled. And as we're
Wow.
talking right now, which is about 11 my time on April 30th, no official changes have been made. But now we have headlines that are saying it's already canceled. And so now there's misinformation, disinformation, tons of confusion right before people are supposed to go vote. And what I'm trying to do to coordinate with other candidates and campaigns, and hopefully the Democratic Party, I haven't heard from them yet. I'm trying to reach out is until something is official, it's just talk. Republicans talk. They like to talk. And they're trying to find a way to make this happen. They haven't yet. If they would have already put it out. And so until talk becomes action and policy and it goes through whatever legal routes it needs to, the election is still on. And I'm encouraging every single person in Louisiana to be there bright and early on Saturday morning at your early voting polling place so that you can vote. Not only are these House elections on the ballot, we have Senate, we have this Bessie board for secondary education, we have the Public Service Commission. We also have these really big 5 amendments that are on the ballot in this primary. They tried to sneak them in this primary, and those are all important. So every single person, if you are able to figure out how you can vote on Saturday, the more people that vote on Saturday, the more likely it is that they don't cancel or postpone the primaries because so many people have voted and we have a much stronger legal rationale.
And it seems like misinformation, disinformation is the strategy to disenfranchise. So even
Yes.
if nothing changes, the fact that they're saying
Mhm.
the election is canceled,
Yes.
even though it's not, the intent is to get people to stay home.
Yep. Absolutely. And the intent is for people to stay home because, well, on a Saturday, why would you wake up early and go somewhere if polling is not open? And just all the confusion. And so I say, like, that means they're scared. The Republicans in Louisiana are scared. They're seeing a strong Democratic candidate base. They're seeing our campaigns. They're seeing what we've been able to do to rally people across the state. And the only way that they can continue to have the stranglehold that they do on Louisiana politics is for people not to vote. So vote. Everybody vote. Vote, 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 vote. No matter how you vote, your vote is so important. And yeah, it's already working because I put out a video saying the same thing and people are responding with clips and headlines. Like, did you read the headline? What is their source? Their source is Landry talking to the media about what he wants to do. So how can you say something's canceled when your source is the governor saying, "Well, I'd really like to cancel it"? That's not the same thing. And there are tons of Democrats who are responding to me saying, "Matt, did you read this article? Did you read this article?" Well, that's the misinformation and disinformation is the point.
So if it is canceled, then what happens next?
So if it is, we don't know. There are potential options. So it could just be postponed. Part of it could be canceled, is option A, where they cancel or postpone just the House and they keep the Senate, the Bessie, the Public Service, the 5 amendments. And then the House is, pushed further along. It could be postponed a month, 2 months, or they could completely cancel it and we just go back to November jungle primary like we had before. That highly benefits Republicans. And what they're seeing, what they're noticing is with this closed or semi-closed party primary, is that you're going to get a strong Democrat running against every single Republican on the ballot. We have somebody in every single race, and it's going to be a head-to-head one-on-one. And we've already had the time to be able to get confirmed and qualified by the state. And so we had our money, our petitions, our signatures, everything that we needed to qualify. So nobody else can qualify for this primary election. And the primary leads to the general. So it's in their best interest to cancel the primary so the general's open and they divvy up the Democratic big support.
Yeah, I mean, for a party that promotes so much freedom and liberty and justice and pro-America, they're pretty anti-democracy because it seems to be
Mhm.
disenfranchising Black American votes, minority votes, and even thinking about like the LGBTQ plus leaders who came before us organizing during the civil rights era, people who understood that LGBTQ plus queer liberation is directly tied to Black liberation.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
what are you saying to people right now who feel like is what can I do? What can I do right now to stop this?
So if you are in Louisiana, vote. Don't spread misinformation. Like, look up, see what the news sources are actually saying, who they're actually citing, and if it is Governor Landry just saying something out of his mouth without any backing, don't post it. Don't share it. Like, only share what is factual and get people to vote. So even if you're not in Louisiana, highlighting that this is going on. If there are tons of people who don't live here but they still have family here, tell your family to get out and vote and what's happening, and just raising awareness on all the craziness that's happening. Any good vibes, prayers that people can send our way, that's great too. Any money that people can send our way, that's also great too. I know my team has talked to Clearfield's team a little bit. Hopefully, I'm able to talk to him today. I know that he's way more swamped than I am as the incumbent who is literally under attack right now. He already has a team of lawyers that are on the ready, depending on what it is, but that takes money. And so, money is great, time is great, awareness is great, and calling reporters, reaching out to our state representatives. So, if you're in Louisiana as well, like between now and Saturday when you go to early vote, calling your local state legislature. As of right now, nothing has changed. Talk isn't action. And the Republicans like to talk, and Jeff Landry really likes to talk, uh, and really has little action that we've seen in this state. Until there's true action, don't freak out, calm down, and go vote.
So good. Thank you so much for being on the show, Matt.
Thank you.